Welcome to Jewish Wisdom on JTV, the global Jewish channel. Well, today we're not just joined by any old rabbi, we're joined by the chief rabbi himself, Rabbi Ephraim Mirvis. Rabbi, thank you so much for joining us. It's a real honor to have you.
Hello, Ollie. Lovely to be on the show.
So I think people have heard you speak before on certain platforms, whether it's on media or at an event, but I don't know how many people truly understand or appreciate Rabbi Mirvis, the person, the man behind the beard, as someone said to me earlier today. I wanted to sort of get a little bit personal in this interview to understand sort of who you are and what motivates you and what it is you are really trying to achieve in your post as Chief Rabbi of the United Kingdom and the British Commonwealth. Can I just start by asking you, just very simply, how is the job going? You've been in it for, I think, nearly 3 years now. You must have met some important dignitaries and world leaders. Have you had any, what's been your best or funniest moments?
Well, with each occasion of that sort, what is absolutely in my mind is the fact that I'm not going as an individual, I'm representing a community, I'm representing a faith.
Yeah.
And very often my wife and I find ourselves in positions and in circumstances where genuinely we know that this is a tribute to Judaism, to the Jewish community. That's certainly what we felt when we were guests of Her Majesty the Queen and Prince Philip at Windsor Castle, where we at meals with the royal family, stayed overnight in the castle, and we could sense and feel the huge appreciation that the royal family has for Jewish people and the Jewish faith. Similarly, when I was privileged to have an audience with Pope Francis in September last year in the Vatican, and had that opportunity to engage with him, I was able to appreciate the depth of warmth that does exist now in the Vatican from the Pope down. And you were asking about special experiences, personal experiences. Well, certainly it was on that occasion, following my meeting with the Pope, I introduced him to those who had come with me, and he was with various cardinals and bishops within this quite remarkable context there in the Vatican, within the papal suite. And I had given him a formal gift. It was just before Rosh Hashanah, so the gift was an apple and honey set, and I had passed certain comments to him about the significance of apple and honey. In order to combat bitterness, we have something that is sweet, and so too, when we look back on Jewish Christian history, unfortunately, there have been some sad and some bitter moments, but let's move forward now to have a sweet future. All lovely sentiments. And then my wife gave an additional gift. She had baked some Florentines, and she presented them to the Pope. And I must tell you, from the moment he received the Florentines, that entire event took a new turn. He was totally turned on to the Florentines. His face was beaming. He wanted to know, background to them, the recipe, how to keep them, how to maintain their freshness. There was that human element of the encounter, which was just so special and so lovely.
That's great. And do you find a neat sort of similar human element when you met the Queen? What's she like as a person?
Totally. The Queen is a magnificent person. We were blessed because we were in her company for a very long evening.
How did you keep kosher at the banquet? What did you do? Did you get a homolous meal?
Well, there again, you have recognition of the Jewish people and the lengths that they went to. Part of the royal kitchen was koshered.
Oh, wow.
In order that fresh food could be prepared for us on the premises.
Is that a permanent kitchen, or
kitchen? They have in Windsor Castle. They've got a full kitchen.
I mean, a permanent kosher kitchen that they have, or do they make it just for you?
No, it's very rare that they would have somebody who eats kosher, particularly rare. No, a kosher caterer came into the castle a few days before the event.
Wow.
And they had the banquet that we had to prepare for, the various small nush that we had at the various drink sessions, and the breakfast the following morning. So part of the royal kitchen was koshered. There was a corner which was fully koshered out so that the food could be freshly made for us. And the extent of the detail, because we sat down to dinner, there were about 25 people there, members of the royal family, those who were part of the court and some special guests, including ourselves. And the whole idea was that everything should look the same, so that we should feel totally relaxed, so that they bought special new crockery and cutlery to look just like the rest of what was provided. The food more or less looked the same.
Wow.
We were looked after magnificently, the tiniest detail, with great and genuine warmth, which was absolutely there. And the Queen took us on a personal tour of Windsor Castle. And the highlight of that, I mean, if you're asking me about special moments, a very special moment was when a Sefer Torah was displayed in Windsor Castle. It was brought out from the royal collection because the Queen had been presented with the Sefer Torah in the 1950s, a historic scroll from the former Czechoslovakia, a scroll that had been rescued. And I had the opportunity to describe this Torah scroll to members of the
Wow.
royal family. It was something very special.
That must have been such a remarkable experience.
Yeah.
That's amazing how much sort of effort they put in to make you feel so, welcome.